Hello, Revive Student Ministry. Pastor Dustin here with just a few quick, important updates as we're starting a new school year soon. And as a challenge is to see who watches this video all the way through. If you keep watching, there will be a chance to enter into a drawing for a prize for you and your whole family. And so feel free to just keep watching for that information on how to enter. So a word that I keep hearing in this season is the word pivot. In fact, I feel like that's all we've been doing in this season of life over the past several months, just pivoting, changing plans, making plans, figuring out different options, changing plans again. And as we continue to pivot, I just wanted to update you on a few different things going on in our world with the Revive Student Ministry as we're looking at pivoting into this next school year. The first thing I want to talk about is our parent meeting. You see, at the beginning of the summer, I handed out a calendar, and on that calendar was a parent meeting for August 26th of this year. That has since been changed because of the start of the school year now starting on that date. We are no longer having a parent meeting that night, and we are no longer having our launch for youth group that night. Instead, we're going to postpone our parent meeting to September 20th. And so go ahead and mark your calendar for September 20th. And I wanted to make this video to have some information for you that we would have covered at that parent meeting, some more timely things that I'd like to get into your hands for right now, and then we'll have that later parent meeting on September 20th. So go ahead and mark your calendars for that. That'll be at 4 p.m. here at the church in the sanctuary, and I'll try to make it with your time by only covering relevant information, and there might even be some sweet treats for you and your family to enjoy while we're at that parent meeting. With that change, we're also changing the start date of our youth group. We were going to be doing a fall kickoff event on the 26th, but because of changing schedules and trying to serve you families well and not having the parent night on the first night of school, we moved that parent meeting to September 20th, but then we will start youth group on September 2nd. And on September 2nd only, it'll be a combined youth group night with both middle school and high school students here at the church with supper starting at 6 o'clock, followed by youth group at 7 p.m. And on that night, we're having special guests, the Todd Becker Foundation. They're coming and doing a youth group takeover where they will lead worship, they'll present a message, and it'll all be gospel-centered, and it's going to be a really, really great evening of fun. So students, September 2nd at 6 p.m. here at the church. Masks will be required. We'll talk a little bit more about social distancing in a second, but masks will be required at that event. So we'd love to see you September 2nd for that. The next thing is email. A few of the things that I'm talking about right here in this parent meeting is it was things included in email that I sent out just the other day. There was a calendar, there was some sign-up sheets, but if you did not get that email that I sent out, that means that you're not on my parent list for whatever reason of current students. And so if you'd like to be added to that list, that will get important information about youth group changes, events, and some of these forms and things, please send me an email at dustin@northoak.net. And I'd love to get you that as soon as I can so that I can forward what I'm going to be talking about here, as well as you can be in the know about things coming. I'd also like to talk about student info sheets. And so in that email, I sent out student info sheets for you to fill out for your students. And so I just asked that you would please print those out and get them back to me as soon as you can. I have some paper copies for those of you who want those here at the Church Youth Center and also across the street in my office. And so if you'd like to get that on a Sunday morning, you can come over to the youth room, or on sometime during the week, you can grab them from my office. I'll be in the office throughout the week. And so get those student info sheets, fill them out, and get them back to me as soon as you can. Calendar. I also sent out a calendar for the year. Yes, you heard it right, for the year. See, I had been doing quarterly calendars and tried monthly calendars, but I decided this time to go big and just do the whole year of planning. And what a time to do a whole year of planning when you're also trying to take into consideration coronavirus. And so that being said, there is the school year calendar right there for you, but I do just want to ask that you'd have grace with me as things do change, because it's kind of the name of the season. Flexibility is so important. And so on that calendar, you'll see different things like our district youth events, fundraisers, high school and middle school game nights and all of those kinds of things. And what's not on there is a weekly youth group. We will do normal youth group programming, and we typically just run with the public school district calendar on that. And so if they don't have school for whatever reason, whether it be for Thanksgiving break or Christmas or those kinds of things, we'll typically not have youth group as well during that time. And so that's some information on the calendar. The next thing I wanted to bring up is our mission. Our mission at Revive Student Ministry is to empower students to be authentic followers of Christ. Our values that help us to achieve that goal are cultivating faith firmly rooted in Christ, having a local and global impact, living in biblical community, and empowering families. Now, that's a lot, and it sounds really great, but how does it actually get done? And sure, as we plan different events and do things throughout the year, we try to incorporate those different values. We don't just gather for gathering's sake. We get together in order to live in biblical community. And, we plan different events around the year dealing with those different things. But this year, I feel the Lord really impressing on me to put in place 4 spiritual practices that I want to live in, and I also want to encourage students and my leaders to live in order for them to be authentic followers of Christ. And those 4 different things, those 4 different practices are time with God, time with others, using your gifts, and telling your story. And I just want to walk through each of those 4 things real quick. First, time with God. At Revive, we want to encourage and equip students to spend time with the Lord. And that's done through daily devotions and those kinds of things. We want to encourage that. It's done through Bible reading and prayer and doing activities that are God-focused. And so here we will try to encourage students to spend time with God. Also, we'll try to encourage to spend time with others. Community is so important. And with the mission of living in biblical community, you can't do that unless we're doing things together, unless we're spending time together. And so this can be as simple as playing disc golf or as involved as going on one of our trips and events. But regardless, we're going to try to spend time together, because as we spend time together, we're shaped more and more into the image of Christ, because we're spending time with other people who bear his image and are striving after him. And so we'll focus on time with God, but we'll also focus on time with others. And third, using your gifts. Revive Student Ministry students are so talented. Your students are so talented. I want to utilize those gifts for kingdom work. And so there's this idea in our culture where the students are the church of the future. I'm going to challenge that with the idea that your students are the church of today. Being a Christian, you don't get promoted as you become an adult to a bigger and more impressive kind of Christian. No, Christ can use our gifts here and now. And so I want to encourage students to use their gifts for kingdom purposes here and now. The fourth thing is telling your story. We want to tell stories that magnify God's greatness. You see, here we experience God in different ways, and one of those ways is through our salvation story, our testimony. And we're going to share that. And that's so important and so pivotal. But also, we see God at work in our daily life as well. And so we want to share those stories also. And so God uses stories in mighty and powerful ways. And so we want to celebrate that here in our ministry. So those were 4 practices that we're going to try to focus on as we enter into this next year. And as we enter this next year, I know that coronavirus is going to be an interesting thing to go around. It's incredible how this thing has shaped our culture, shaped our lives, and you know better than me, even just as parents, how much it has changed different things. So many things canceled and changed, and I believe that we need to take this thing seriously and take precautions to reduce its spread and impact on our world. But that being said, we also think that it's vitally important in the life of the Christian to be together, to do things together. And so this semester, we do plan to meet together in person for a youth group and for our different activities. And if there are different flare-ups or a rise of cases in the community, that might cause us to take a break from gathering in person for a time period. But we're going to try to be together in person as much as possible. And I'll try to be in good communication with you as parents as changes need to take place, or as we need to pivot a little more. And so please be flexible with us as that happens. But that being said, we will take take precautions as we meet together. As of now, we're following our local and community guidelines and senses of social distancing. We're practicing social distancing in our different activities. We'll try to do that as much as possible. We're wearing masks. That's a mask mandate here in Hays right now that we're following. And we're gonna do different things. I'm looking into different things like temperature checks and those kinds of things, hand sanitizer units in different places. We're trying to be as safe as we can, but you know that students are social creatures for the most part, and social distancing is difficult. And so if you are uncomfortable or your student is uncomfortable right now returning back to youth group, I completely understand, and I want to bless your decision making. You make the best decision for your kids. I can't make that for you. And so if there's something that I can do to help serve you and your family in this time where maybe you are taking a step back, please let me know. Keep in contact with me, and I'd love to love and serve and empower your family in this time. Because coronavirus kind of changed everything, we never had a chance to welcome in our new sixth graders. We never had a graduation up. And so sixth graders, if you're a parent of a sixth grader or you're a sixth grader watching this, I just want to welcome you to our student ministry. So glad you're here. So glad you'll be joining in on all the things that God has done here. And a lot of you came from HFL, Heroes for Life, and Miss Karen has done an incredible job pouring into your life, and the servants and volunteers there at HFL just do such good work in discipleship. And as we move into this next season of your life, middle school, I just want to add on to that and stand on the shoulders of discipleship that has already happened in your life and just continue to pour into your life. And our volunteers want to do that too. And so thankful that you're here. Welcome to Revive Student Ministries. Super excited for what's ahead. And now for the reason that many of you stayed this long, the prize. If you watch this video, you can have a chance to win snowballs for your entire family. And so I just ask that you'd send an email to enter to dustin@northoak.net with the word snowball as a subject line, and that'll automatically enter you for a chance to win snowballs for the whole family. I'm excited for what's ahead. This year is going to be an interesting one. I know that there will be a lot of changes that happen, but I just know that God is at work. He doesn't stop for coronavirus. He wasn't surprised by it. He's going to use it for his purposes and for his glory and for our good. And this year, as we are doing things here at Revive Student Ministry, I just want you to know that our mission is to empower students to be authentic followers of Christ. We do that through many different ways, and we're excited to see how God will use our ministry here to fulfill his goal of making disciples throughout this next year. And so thank you for joining us. If there's any way that I can better serve you and you or your family, please let me know. Be glad to help out. Have a wonderful day.